I think we have a duty to our own mother country back home, will be to a certain extent favored by if we were to be participating in the political process in this country. Eventually, the more politics you play, the better off you will be in terms of how we can influence our leaders, senators, as well as congressmen to think positively about India and about what it stands for, as long as it's honest. And I think I've always felt that our policies as a democratic society have been honest, have been to the point, and America recognizes that India is a great democracy. It's here to stay. Terrorism in India is almost nil, and therefore India has a very high place in society, in the minds of the American people and the American leaders. And I think we should capitalize on that. And if we were in politics, and if we were to contribute towards the politicians in this country, it would go a long way in cementing the relationship between the two great democracies further.
Okay. Dr. Shah, where do you see yourself 20 years from now? Where will you be living? What do you see yourself doing?
Well, hopefully I'd like to give back something to my country again. I'm at a stage of life where I'd obviously like to expand my business. My dream is to create a hospital system in this country. Maybe have 15, 20 hospitals under our belt. Have a couple of $1 billion of sales. I'm responsible to my investors and my friends. I want to make sure that our stocks rise with our profits going up. At this time it's languishing because it's a very short history. Hopefully that will happen, and new leaders will emerge in our company. They'll take over, and I hope to go back to India and participate in activities back home, which would help me there as well as here. And obviously, eventually, everybody has to retire and look back upon how good life it was for you.
Sure. Have you ever thought about opening hospitals in India?
It is a difficult problem because the hospitals in India have no competition, and there are many small nursing homes that come around. So it's an entirely different problem in terms of starting a business in India compared to starting a business in this country. Large chains would work, like the Apollo hospital chain in India. It's a very successful chain in India. It would work because they were there many years ago. They established a footprint. They've done very well. But if you want to start a single hospital here and there as a business and not be a service-oriented person yourself there as a practice physician, I think it will be very difficult to do that. However, super specialties hospitals would run very nicely, and that should be considered. To be opened in that country, at several places.
I mean, India has a great progress right now. How do you feel about India's progress? I mean, it's on the first 5 pages of every business magazine. Mittal family was on a cover page of Business Week, Economic Times, Wall Street Journal has India all over their magazine.
Well, India opened up in the 1990s, and by the time it percolated to the business community in big numbers, it's taken about 10, 12 years. We are now at the takeoff stage. I mean, we've seen nothing as yet. It's going to be an exponential progress from now on for the future, because as you can see now, people who are educated, they can find jobs. 20, 30 years ago, it was hard to find jobs. There's nothing like mortgages. We couldn't lease cars. There will be lines for getting even a phone connection. Now all these things are available very easily. Food is available in plenty, and the simple basic aspects of life are taken care of, especially if you're educated. I mean, everywhere you need some basic tools to succeed, and I think education is the best tool that you may have. So if the husband and wife both are educated, I think you can find a house in 2, 3, 4 years' time, at least in a moderate-sized city, and you can go off from there. So that actually creates a demand and supply mechanism where the demand is constant. So hopefully in the next several years, you will find very large industries coming up with a tremendous consumption and a continuous progress of 8 to 10% of the economic growth. And that should lead India to in the top 5 nations of the world in the next 15 to 20 years. And as long as people are happy, and that's the most important thing. As long as people are happy, they're innovative, they keep on progressing, that's really what we're looking for. And as you see in the newspapers now, mega complexes are coming up, real estate is booming, and all aspects of industry are booming. And now you see so many billionaires from India in the Forbes list that makes all Indians proud of their contribution.
Then why do you think we have a highest level of HIV rate and poverty level and a very small education rate in India?
Well, the number of HIV patients are high, but if you look at the rate in a percentage basis, it's not that high still. But I think it's a question of educating the poorer masses, and also our own religious norms has prevented us from progressing to a certain extent. But as science progresses, I'm sure people are being more careful, and we have to take steps to control that epidemic. That's very important. Otherwise, it will really damage the country in more ways than one. And as long as people are careful and they understand their and take the precautions, I think it will be okay. But basically, again, one has to understand that besides your own character, some of the poor people who have been stigmatized, and the women especially who are uneducated and who cannot help themselves, get affected in more ways than one. So it's a multidimensional problem, and that needs to be tackled in different ways. But one of the great things about India is that the medications are available at a much cheaper price than in this country, which of course is a great hope for India to control the disease process.
Okay. Well, taking things in a little different direction, what are some of your hobbies that when you do have some free time that you like to get involved in?
Well, I love music. I love to sing if I can.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
And obviously, so we do that. I walk, and I've not been playing lately tennis, but I'd like to do that. And of course, I've got kids, and we just go on outings and vacations. But we have a great time, social time.
Okay. And to conclude our segment, what advice do you have for the new generation that's, up and coming? They come from a family where the parents are immigrants, moving over to the U.S., and they're equipped with the resources and the tools to, take things to the new level. What are some advices you have for, our generation?
Just go for it. Just do it. That's all that's required. Just do it, go for it. Plenty of opportunities. But again, character is destiny. Keep yourself honest and don't try to take shortcuts. Be true to yourself and true to your profession and true to the work that you do. And eventually, God will help you. God helps people who help themselves.
Okay. Dr. Anil Shah, thank you very much for your time. We're glad to have, community leader like yourself representing our Southeast Asian community. And we want to thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.